By now, you've probably seen Frutiger Space pop up in your recommended, and if not Frutiger Space itself, then almost definitely you've seen or at least heard of Frutiger Aero, the aesthetic on which the game is based. I personally had a fantastic time playing this game a couple weeks ago, and to celebrate that, I actually got in contact with the creator of Frutiger Space, Blaze, to get together and do a little bit of an interview to uncover some of the questions I had about this kind of mysterious figure, the creator of Frutiger Space, and also to almost forward a lot of questions and comments that came in my comment section on the recent Frutiger Space video that I made. You're gonna have to excuse me looking like a bit of a dungeon dweller. I still haven't properly decorated the background of my webcam area of my apartment. I swear I'm healthy, I'm doing okay, it just makes me look really pale and awful for some reason in this video. But other than that, without further ado, it's time to get to know the creator of Frutiger Space a little bit better, ask him some of your burning questions, and get to the bottom of understanding this game that's based off of the future we were promised. Obviously, hello to everyone who's watching this. You know who I am. Maybe you don't see my face that often, but this is me. I'm Stuart. Hello. And with me, I have the creator of Frutiger Space, who I know an abysmal low amount about. And so I'm very excited today to basically get the opportunity to learn a bit more about you and about your interest in making a game like this that clearly has resonated with so many people via the response of like the game trailers, of my video, etc. I do think there were a bunch of like questions that came up in my comment section that I thought it would be nice to redirect through this interview, and then obviously a bunch of questions I have, all sort of intertwined into the same experience. But before I get started on that, I basically just wanted to ask if you maybe could introduce yourself a little bit, and just sort of give a brief background on what you feel has brought you here to this point of making Frutiger Space.
Sure. First of all, hi everyone. Hi Stuart, and thank
Hello.
you for inviting me.
Sure, yeah, of course.
Yeah, for me
My
it's
pleasure.
really a pleasure. Starting off, my name is Christian. I'm a student of computer engineering from Italy. So I started my journey in game development since I was a kid, basically. So I just started doing some little experiments in Scratch.
Oh shit, no way.
Yeah.
We were
Scratch.
forced to learn how to use Scratch as well in primary school.
Yeah, I used it in school, in fact.
Okay.
Yeah, I just started with Scratch, doing little stuff. It's just a simple programming language, so you can't do really much with it. Then later on, during high school, I started experimenting more with Unity, with the Unity engine, and I just did some little projects that I never really completed. But yeah, they were very useful for me to learn the basics and just getting started, while I was learning in school a bit of for example, C++, the basics of programming in general. Then I went to university. I'm now going to start the third year in university, where I just learned the more advanced topics about programming. I'm just very interested in studying not only the programming language, but how the computer works in general. I'm very passionate about this. So that's a bit of my background around my formation in general.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. Well, nice to meet you properly, Christian, so I don't have to call you Blaze.
Yeah.
But
Your name is Stuart, right?
yes,
Stuart.
yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, it's Stuart as in StuartisUnoriginal. Has Blaze always been your username? Like, has that always been what you've run with since you were a kid?
Basically, yeah, it's been my name since I had a PC, because before I had a PC, I played basically on the Nintendo Wii or the Nintendo DS, 3DS, so basically all the Nintendo consoles, because I've always been a huge fan of Nintendo.
Okay, I can see,
So-
yeah. From
Oh
behind
yeah,
you,
you can
yeah.
see
Yeah.
here. The name Blaze comes from the video game Minecraft.
Okay.
From the mob, the Blades. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
And actually, at first it was supposed to be Creeper, but I wanted to set the name Creeper 96, but it was already taken.
I think
so. I just put in Blades.
I think this turned out for the better, to be honest. Because I mean, if a guy was trying to, you know, make his own way, making a specific kind of game, and his username was Creeper, I think people might just attach you to Minecraft all the time, even if. Yeah.
I think I would have changed it because.
Okay. Yeah. That's true. So yeah, if you don't mind me asking, I was kind of wondering. This feels like a relevant question, just because obviously Frutiger Aero as an aesthetic was birthed like, I don't know, late 2000s into the early 2010s. So how old are you? Like, how much of an experience with Frutiger Aero did you have growing up?
So I'm 20.
Okay.
And basically, my experience has been mainly due to the fact that on my mother's PC, I had Windows 7. So that's basically was my first approach. Just browsing through the operating system and playing, for example, Parble Place.
Oh yes. The people in my comment section kept going on about Parble Place.
Yeah, Parble Place is like the main one of the main staples of the aesthetic. So other than that, there's of course the Nintendo Wii and its games, which I think are also another huge examples of Frutiger Aero, especially in video games.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And they're, in fact, they are my main inspiration when it comes to working on Frutiger Space.
Okay. And I guess this kind of answers my next question, what you just said. But so, as a kid, did you feel like did you feel like naturally attached to the aesthetic? Did it feel like it's like well, I guess now you can answer this in retrospect because you're older, but did it feel like it, for me anyway, it felt like it almost naturally attached to, like, I don't know, the optimism you feel like you have when you're a kid, you know? Like, I was so excited about, like, new operating systems, like, can't wait for the next Windows, can't wait for the next, you know, game update or whatever, and it feels like Frutiger Aero just blended so well with that optimism, I guess.
Yeah, honestly, I loved it so much. But I must admit that when, for example, Windows switched to a more, flat design, it was a little bit exciting at first, just because of the fact that it was something different.
Yes, yeah. No, I agree, yeah.
But, just over time, you just get back the idea that it's just soulless, just a type of design that is soulless, and it doesn't resonate with me personally.
Yeah, I think that's a great point to bring up, actually, because I remember when I was a kid and, like, Windows 10 coming out was pretty huge, and seeing everything have this, like, mysterious, dark, like, that I'm thinking of that, like, famous, like, Windows 10 like the blue window with, like, this smoke, like, coming through and everything. Initially that was like, I think people forget now because of the nostalgic lens, but initially that was like, I feel like people generally our age were excited when Windows 10 came out, and then it just, like, gradually, I think it's also just modern Windows 10 just kind of stagnated. It didn't, like, if they kept developing and changing, maybe, like, we would have had a different, I don't know, opinion to Windows 10, but it just felt like they went with a modernist design, like 10 years ago, and they've done nothing with it since. And so it makes sense that this has left room for retrospective aesthetics like Frutiger Aero to take hold. And there's a very common phrase associated with Frutiger Space and Frutiger Aero, which is like, this is the future we were promised and whatever, and stuff like that. Do you feel like, I mean, like, what do you mean, what do you think we mean when you and I say that, like, Frutiger Aero represents a future we were promised and wasn't delivered on?
So this is an interesting question, because I've been thinking a lot about the meaning of, like, the phrase the future we were promised, and because I've also received quite a bit of critique about using this phrase.
Okay.
Just for the fact that it's a bit of thing of a controversial thing. Like, people can agree or not about thinking if it's something that it was really our promised future. Personally, I think that in the beginning, Frutiger Aero was just a way to bring people closer to technology. So it was something used by companies mainly. But I think today it all kind of has another meaning. It just feels more like I think like a more genuine feeling of nostalgia, and I think that people like me just associate good things about this period in general, because you know we were kids, everything was more colorful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's nice to say that it was a better time overall, and yeah, like most of the things that were promised back then, it's hard to find them nowadays.
Right.
For example.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
That's a bit
That's good to clear that up, because I agree that there has been a bit of controversy, I guess, around that. Around that phrase. So, what exactly? I mean, like we're in 2026 now, and there has been like a sort of retroactive like rebirthing, I guess, of Frutiger Aero as like an aesthetic. But what exactly drove you to go, okay, I'm gonna put in the tremendous amount of effort it takes to make a video game about an aesthetic from over 10 years ago in the middle of the 2020s? I mean, what exactly about Frutiger Aero made you so, brought you so much inspiration that you needed to, felt you wanted to make a game like this in the 2020s?
Honestly, I don't think it's more about like the aesthetic in general. I always loved it. It's always thing like I think inside of me that I had this like connection to it, even when I didn't know there was a name for it. But I think that one thing that it's important to notice is that I always wanted to make a game that could bring people together, and I just thought that Frutiger Aero blends perfectly for an experience like this, because you know, for example, we have MSN, which is one of the most important symbols of the aesthetics. In fact, for example, it brought the meeples, what I like to call the meeples, you know, the little MSN avatars.
Yeah. Tell me a bit about MSN, because I don't think I fully understand.
Like I don't. What do you what do you don't
yeah
understand?
like what is MSN basically?
It's just it's a messaging. It's a chat for messaging. You know, people. It stands for the Microsoft Instant Messenger.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
Basically, I just wanted to create an experience that could not only bring people together, but unite them in a space that was inspired by this aesthetic, because I just loved it so much and I wanted to also have other people experience it.
Right.
As my main inspiration for this, during 2024, the end of 2024, I used to play a lot a game called Web Fishing, which is basically a game similar to Frutiger Space in the premise. It's just a chat room based game where you fish with your friends. You just go fishing, just like in Animal Crossing. Right. In fact, Animal Crossing is also another one of my inspirations, for example. Right. It's just how everything started. I just had the thought of making a similar experience to web fishing, but uniting it with this aesthetic that I thought blended really well with this kind of experience and gameplay of just being with others.
Would you ever add fishing?
I plan on adding a fishing type of mechanic later on, because another thing to know about this game, about the development, is that I do want to release it in a state that it's possible to update it afterwards, because I don't want people to wait too much for it. But at the same time, I would like to complete my vision.
Right. Of course,
so I would like to be satisfied at least with the first result of the early access release.
Right. Okay. And in terms of like on that note, like in terms of like I don't know, like a calendar for the future for Frutiger Space, do you see like a specific date in mind, or a specific like, was it just right now you just got head down and you're not too focused about release dates or anything like that?
No, I do have a roadmap,
Okay.
but for now I'd like to just wait a little bit more before doing any official announcement.
Yeah, I think that's probably on the safest side. I mean, you can look back at like classic mistakes, awesome like games that have gotten so much like novelty traction because of how unique they are. Like I don't know, Cyberpunk, or even sequels like the Forest 2. Like they make the mistake of going, okay, July 2nd, 2027. That's when you're gonna see it, and then delay it like 3-4 times, and it can drain the hype if you're not careful. So I think that's a good.
But one thing I want to say is that we are not too far away from the release.
Okay, good.
That's one thing.
I'll keep that mysterious omen in mind. That's great. Does it feel nice to get comments like I think somebody said, "Oh, this is what's over the fence in Purple Place or something," because I think it's like a fence boundary.
Yeah, they're fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, like the community response, like how have you felt? Like, I mean, this game is like, I don't want to say it's blown up to an insane degree, but as for like a first project for a game developer, people really seem to be resonating with it. Are you interacting a lot with the community? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm very proud of the community that is forming around this game. I couldn't ask for a better community, to be honest, because they are all of course there's always bad eggs, but for the vast majority it's all beautiful people, all very kind. So yeah, I just thank everyone for the great support that they've been giving me and the development team.
Yeah, so actually speaking about the development team, you run a studio called Ginestra Studios, or Studio Ginestra?
Studio Ginestra.
Sorry, yeah, my bad on the pronunciation.
Yeah, no worries.
But do you feel like, how many people do you have working in the studio?
It's around, I believe, 7 or 8.
Okay.
We have 2 concept artists. Then we have 1 environment artist that we recently got. And then we have 3 composers. And then we have 1 animator. I believe that's it.
Do you
if I'm not forgetting anyone.
Yeah, so one of your employees is going to watch this video and be really upset. Do you feel like everyone has like a consistent vision in the team, or are they like, not even in a bad way, but are they like maybe coming in with different ideas that you feel like pushes the game and like into a more like rapid creative process than maybe if it was just you on your own?
No, actually, we have recently set a more artistic workflow where we go through a bunch of brainstorming, where there's basically me, and then there's Leo, which is one of the concept artists, and then there is Ed, which is the environment artist, and we are just working as a more united group.
Okay.
And you're just exchanging ideas and understanding what works or what must be put aside.
Right.
It's becoming a very nice group that has a lot of ideas, and I'm very proud with our first project, like our next project for Frutiger Space.
Is that like another level, like similar?
Another zone which we are working on. Yeah.
Awesome, that's so exciting.
It's coming along really well. Yeah.
And just to do a slight plug here, are you still releasing these like additions to the current demo of the game on Patreon, or are you more like saving them up for the release now?
I think that maybe there will be another version released on Patreon before the release, maybe.
Okay.
I'm not sure, maybe.
Sure. Well, if the people watching this are interested in getting some early access to Frutiger Space like I did, Studio Ginestra, has has a Patreon, which is in the link in the description. You can check it out, and there are a bunch of different tiers, and you get access to, early access to what is currently Frutiger Space. Obviously, it's still a work in progress, but yeah, if you'd like to support and you'd like to see it before anyone else, definitely go take a look at that.
Thank you for the
No,
shout
sure.
out.
Yeah, I mean, that's how people have been asking, like, how I got the game. I thought I was pretty clear, but anyway. So that is explicitly how I got access to the demo version of the game. And speaking of pricing, I guess, are you hoping for this to be a free release or free at first and then like as an alpha and then paid later? I mean, what's the plan in terms of like, if you have one, or if you feel comfortable talking about it?
So unfortunately, I can't make it free because I don't want to put in any kind of microtransactions inside the game.
God bless.
Of course, a source of revenue has to come from somewhere, you know.
Right.
So I just want to give the people a small price for the game. It won't be over $10.
Okay.
It will just be the price of the game, and everything will be unlockable inside of it just by playing.
Okay, that's fantastic news. That's great to hear. In terms of just some questions I had that I got a lot from the community about like what exactly is going to be happening within the game itself in terms of the development of like what you can do in it. Is there obviously this game is built on like the notion of community and the togetherness that like Frutiger Aero promotes. Do you intend on having more, I mean, other than just the multiplayer working, do you intend on having, I don't know, say like community workshop features like Little Big Planet or Super Mario Maker, where you can like make your, you know, sandbox map and then share it with other people can come look it out? Would people be able to build together? That sort of thing.
That would be awesome. Like it would be basically like the best feature to add, I think, but it will be as beautiful as hard to implement.
Okay.
So it will, I think for now we will leave it for later, maybe.
Okay.
So, or even in another project, in a next project that I have already some ideas in mind, but yeah, it's still
when you say
it's still just brainstorming.
When you say next project, do you mean for Frutiger Space?
No, after Frutiger Space, like
okay.
a different video game.
Okay. Can you tell me a bit about that, just as a side note, or is that just it's still very conceptual?
It's very conceptual.
Okay.
I just like to because Frutiger Space was basically mostly an experiment for me to play around with the Godot engine, which is what I'm using to make the game. Like it was my first like big project. So I just like to make another one starting from, you know, all the bases that I have now, all the experience that that grew with time. So I think I could make an even better game with more like, you know, with funding from Frutiger Space. It could be something even bigger.
Okay.
That's what I would love to do.
Do you I won't ask any specific questions about the game, but do you envision it having the same visual appeal, like the sort of Frutiger Aero aesthetic, or is it something else entirely?
It will be different. I imagine to be different, like a more unique aesthetic, but still very visually appeasing. I don't know.
Appealing. Yeah.
Appealing.
Okay, cool, awesome. So here's some questions from people. Do you intend to make furniture and machines in game like actually interactable, like in terms of, I don't know, let's say when you make like a coffee machine or something in your Frutiger home, like is there going to be more of like a post sandbox after you've done like the building of the house, something you can do to like make it interactable?
Actually, one of the main ideas that I have in mind for this is having an aquarium that you can just build, and it will be all like customizable with different fishes you can put inside of it, and you can give it food. So you know, stuff like this where it's more interactable and it's not only stuff you place and just watch it, you know, just see it there.
Right. Okay, awesome. Okay, so interactable stuff in the future.
Yeah.
to look forward to. And then as for the extra, like the extra mini games that you're, or not necessarily mini games, but zones that you're working on at the moment, I was wondering if you are planning on adding in more stuff that's like, I don't know, a la like Club Penguin in terms of like its mini games, like the Dorphin racing, or if you're gonna look more to adding more stuff that's kind of sandboxy, maybe, I don't know, some kind of like a, because I guess the sandbox in Frutiger Space does feel very it's kind of like the purest form of a sandbox where you get access to everything and you can just mess around and like there's no limits on your creativity. Do you intend to make maybe some, I don't want to call it survival, but you know what I guess you know what I mean, like a collection of resources system, or is it going to be going more in the mini games area, or is it just going to be to explore like visually appealing cool areas that you add?
It will mainly be kept to around what it is right now, so the game won't change too much.
Okay.
In this sense. Of course, there will be more zones added even after the game is released. But other than that, it will be just more mechanics added that complement each other with the style of game. Like it won't change too much in this sense. There won't be like a survival mode like in Minecraft.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. And as for, I've been seeing a lot of like comments referencing because obviously Frutiger Aero is a very like vibrant and bright and like daytime aesthetic. But there are also branches of it, like I don't know if you've seen Frutiger Night, you know, stuff like that, where it's like a Frutiger Aero, but like at a different time of day almost. And I was wondering if you intend to, like, when you add these zones, if other like sub-genre aesthetics of Frutiger Aero are going to come into mind, or if it's just focused on Frutiger Aero and not so much, and Frutiger Aqua obviously, but stuff like Frutiger Night or Frutiger Metro. Is this at all in the workings, in the brain, or are you just focused on Frutiger Aero?
No, it's actually one of the main thing I'm working on, because actually there's already a day-night cycle that has been added inside the building place. And yeah, it has also like a specific host if you are like in the daytime or in the nighttime.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, we have the composer Star working on the host for this part.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's super exciting.
And other than that, yeah, I do plan to work on other areas based on different aesthetics. But I don't want to spoil too much about it. Just keep it.
Sure. Well, no, that's great. I was that was the main one I was interested in anyway. Was the daylight cycle thing. So that's super cool to know that it'll also be separated, like auditorily by the OS team.
And actually the day-night cycle is also inspired by the Frutiger night images you see, like the night time. It's inspired by these images.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's very exciting. Okay, so I have two more questions here. One of them is a bit of a meta question, and then the other one I think is a good place to end off. But what do you... I've been thinking a lot about this. I actually, like, you obviously watched the video I made on Frutiger Space, but I'm wondering what in your head, like, what does the brightest future for technology look like? I mean, so much of us are like tied to Frutiger Space, Frutiger Aero and Frutiger Space, because it represented a very like optimistic viewpoint of like the advancement of technology, the inclusion of, this is a terrible, I don't know why I looked around on that side of my computer, there's like nature and I have plants and stuff, but like the inclusion of nature in like, you know, the technological environment. I mean, it's just like factually, you know, it just makes humans more happier, more at ease. What to you does like a positive future look like now, like for technology, which is almost kind of the future we were promised, like that kind of thing, what that talks about?
With the rise of the AI, there will definitely be some concerns, especially in the immediate future. There must for sure be some regulations, some laws made for it, because otherwise it can be very dangerous. And that's my main concern about the future, you know, the rise of AI, which I think it's too fast for what we can be ready. You know, like we aren't really understanding too much about it in general. like as a population. So yeah, that's my main concern. And but other than that, I'm pretty optimistic about the future. Like I have faith in humanity.
Nice.
In that sense.
Yeah, that's good. I think the
So-
runner of Frutiger Space should probably have an optimistic outlook.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
I'm very optimistic about that. Just the AI race that is pretty scary.
Yeah. Okay, well, cool. Well, the last question I have for you, and thank you so much for taking the time, by the way, Christian. This has been
No, it's my pleasure.
super interesting for me. I've never interviewed anybody, so the whole thing's been very novel. But the last question I have is basically what, if you can talk about it, I know a lot of the stuff is like under wraps for the future of the game, but what do you think is like the most exciting thing for you that is yet to be added to the game?
Mainly what I'd like to work on, as you said before, is a way for people to actually create stuff inside the game or for the game, like through mods or custom maps, stuff like that. I've always been a fan of modding in general. I used to be modding, for example, Minecraft back in the day. So I'm a very fan of that because I believe it's the best way to keep a game alive.
Is the modding community?
I didn't hear.
Sorry, are you're saying the modding community is the best way to keep a game alive?
I think yeah, it's one of the best way, yeah, because it's just it helps the game be alive even when the developer, for example, stops working on the game.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a fantastic point. All right, well, thank you so much. This video should be out sometime in the next couple days. I'm very excited. I think a lot of people who watch that video of mine are also very excited because they want to hear about. It seems like they want to hear about any update this game has because everyone is like, I don't know if you've gone through the comments, but they're very like overwhelmingly positive. People seem super psyched.
Yeah, I've read some. Yeah. Yeah, as I said, I'm very happy about all the support I've been receiving. I didn't really expect it. Like, I mainly started this project as a way, as I said, to practice with the Godot engine. Right. And I just started making videos as a way to keep myself motivated and not just, drop off like I did before with other projects. That were left uncompleted.
Right. Well, now I'm sure you're getting a lot of motivation from the like hundreds of thousands of people watching.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Well, I'm very much looking forward to the future of this game. Yeah, and I'm excited to play the release when it comes out, or maybe if there's another demo that gets put up on the Patreon. All of it, can't wait.